You can ask your question in English or French. Let's go. Coach, merci d'être présent. Marcel, merci. Début de la conférence de presse.
Coach, Ulle Undala from Mercedes Sports. Just want to check yesterday's results of Nigeria. What motivation does it give to you ahead of this match?
Yeah, you know that I spent some years in Nigeria, and we played even here in South Africa in Joburg against Bafana. So you always have an eye on your former team. And I was suffering with them when I saw that they attack without scoring a goal. And they had to wait for a corner and a header of the big player Ajayi. So yes, they have problems. We know that they have big players. Perhaps they have the best players all over Africa in this team. Some of them were not here, but still they had 3 center forwards attacking the game. They are all wonderful players. A 4th striker Lukman also, and Iwobi behind. So normally you should win this game in Uyo on this wonderful stadium. But like you saw, that all is possible. In this group, I think there can be a lot of surprises. And this was already one of them. We never believed that Lesotho could make a draw in Nigeria, but they did well, and they showed that they are able to say their word in this group also.
Wanna ask a question? Let's go.
Coach, I am the news from Ghana CFM. Just what have you made of Bafana? What do you know about them in terms of the way they play, judging from the previous game, and how you can approach tomorrow's game?
Yes, we know that the block of the team is from Mamelodi Sundowns. Congratulations to this big team, which is champion of Africa from the Super League now. And we saw the game last Sunday. They deserve to beat Wydad. And I think 6 of them will be here also, or even 7, tomorrow. So that is a strength of the team to have a block of a club. They have the complicity, they have the harmony, they know exactly how is playing the teammate, and this is a big advantage for a national team. We don't have it. And all the big teams in the history of football had the chance. Germany with Bayern Munich, Spain with Barcelona or Real Madrid, they have block of the team, and the South African team has this block from Sundowns. So not so many players from abroad, because the league here is very good. The players don't need to go away to do their job in good conditions. The infrastructures are wonderful. And when I see all these stadiums, 2010 here Germany played against Spain, I think in the semi-final, and the stadium is still the same. In other countries, when you come a few years later, it's not the same. So really it's fantastic to play in South Africa, to have these conditions, the hospitality of the people, and but we know that tomorrow that will be a match, a fight. We are outsider, we know that. I don't have the players I had in Nigeria, but I have some young players who can do well, I think, with the time. The match is coming perhaps a little bit early for our young team. I put 6 under 20 players in the team. You know that our captains, Sessegnon, Adeno, 39 years old, the both are no more here now. And we had to find a new group to play a football with ambition. It's a little bit early for them, but with good fighting spirit and also some, I think, some qualities, technical qualities. So we will see tomorrow. We know that South Africa at home is favorite, but you never know what happens, like we saw already yesterday.
Oh, how?
Yeah,
Coach, you just spoke about it. How much of that being a challenge to you that you said South Africa got a core team from Sundowns and Nigeria got best players who are playing abroad? How much of a challenge to you that you don't have something like that to fall back on to build a team? Yeah.
Yes, the challenge is to be able in our own team, which is for me my first job, to see my own team, to find also the complicity. We made in last month a little camping in Morocco, in Casablanca, and it was good to see test games. The second goalkeeper could play, which is from South Africa, like you know, playing here. And we have now I know much more the team because I only arrived end of March and we had 1 day to prepare the game against Rwanda. And it's not easy sometimes in Africa because the time is short, but we had now 1 week. We need this time to prepare our team. South Africa doesn't need because they have the complicity already from Sundown and the other players. For me, one of the best players in Africa is Pasitao. This one is really a great player. I know him since a few years, and I have the chance to have such a great player, creative, and can make the difference, decisive passes, mobility, everything. So it will be a big challenge for us to be strong against this team.
Play in South Africa. I'm sure you understand more about South African football than anyone in the team, even the coach. How difficult it is for you guys to prepare for such game when you know that South Africans are favorites and they're playing at home? And the coach already spoke about Mamelodi Sundowns being the trademark or the trendsetters of South African football right now. Do you focus on that only when you prepare for such game?
Good afternoon. Firstly, we don't have choice, but because I'm playing here, and I had played a friendly game against many players, Sundown, Pirates, TS Galaxy, and we know we have a good big game. We have a big game, so we prepare. We are not here to visit Durban, but I think tomorrow we'll show something. Thanks.
Another question?
Coach, I wanted to ask you, 5 games now, no win. Is that a pressure to you? This is a pressure cooker environment, in these World Cup qualifiers, because only one winner goes through. And then, of course, he's also the third best and the fourth best. But how much of a challenge that for you that you're seeking your first win against South Africa?
Mm-hmm. Yes, we had 1 win against Rwanda, 3-0, because they cheated about the yellow cards. So, but we saw it,
Yeah.
and so that's true. When you build a new team and you try to find young players, you need a little time. We only were together 4 times. It's a very short time, or it was always 1 or 2 days training and then immediately the game, and sometimes 2 games. And but now I think I know them very well. That's true. When you see the players, you don't have the players in first leagues like we had before in other countries. But this is a challenge for me personally also to build a team which can have some ambitions, despite the fact that the old players now are finished and the new and young players are not ready perhaps yet 100%. But with the time, they give us a time until 2026. I think with the time that will come. We are still in a period where we have to learn. And this match tomorrow will allow us to learn and to progress, especially with the young players.
Coach, you've been following African football, you've been working here for some time. What's your thoughts about the state of African football? And we saw last weekend there was African Football League that was launched successfully. where South African team wanted to already alluded to that. And also, based on your experience in African football, what do you think is lacking for South Africa to reach the level that we see on other big countries that have teams like Mamelodi Sundowns or Wydad and other stuff? What do you think is lacking South African football to reach that level?
Yeah, when you speak about the African football, you must distinguish between Northern Africa, Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, and other countries in Central Africa or Southwestern Africa. I think it's a big difference. We have two places where the football is really on the high level. This is Morocco and South Africa. Why? Because they have the infrastructures and they work well since at least 10 or 15 years with the academies, Royal Academy in Morocco, and you saw what they did in the World Cup. And the clubs are following, enjoying to play in these wonderful conditions, these stadiums, good training conditions, good coaches also. I think that's why African football, it's very good in the north, very good in South Africa, but in the other countries there's a lot of work to do, especially in the infrastructures. I was in Nigeria for more than 5 years, and it's still very difficult. There's one wonderful stadium, Uyo, and the other one we had to play in Lagos in old stadiums were really difficult, or in Abuja. We could not play even for a long time in the capital of the country because the grass was not good. Now they made it, but it's coming back again. So, yeah, I think there are efforts to do. We have better infrastructures, better work with the young in the academies, like you do here in South Africa and you do in Morocco.
Last question.
Yeah, I think
No,
that-
please, last question. Let me.
Coach, earlier this year in June, you had a very interesting 1-1 draw against Senegal. And what did you take away from that match, in particular from the young team? And will you apply the same methods from that particular match into tomorrow's match? Because you started off quite offensively in that game and then deployed to a very defensive approach, which helped your team secure an all-important point. Will you employ similar methods to nullify Bafana?
Yeah, this game against Senegal is a good example that the young players who played for the first time, 19 years, 18 years, 17 years, they did well. That's why we know that with the young players it's not going up like a line. It's going up and down, but with the time it's going up. That was this the most important. And we saw against Senegal, which was really a very good game against the best team, one of the best teams in Africa, that there are some qualities in the team, and we can play with confidence, even if we didn't win the other games. But we showed in this game the possibility to go forward, and the wonderful goal from the young boy, 18 years old, who made his first game. He scored another goal in the local league from 40 meters last weekend.